Hi, welcome to my presentation. My name is Joseph Hilton. I am a multimedia journalist student, and today I will be talking to you about my interest in broadcast journalism and my aspiration to become a broadcast journalist. In this 10-minute presentation, I will be talking to you about how we got here, where the industry is today, what is next for the industry, and finally, taking a look at my plans to improve my professional development. The references in this presentation will be at the end. Broadcast journalism is a field of news and journals that are broadcasted by electronic methods instead of older methods such as print newspapers. The first inventor of broadcast was originated by an Italian electrical engineer Guglielmo Marconi in 1895 as his creation of practical radio wave-based telegraph system, which led him to be credited as the inventor of radio. Following on from then, in the 1920s, he experimented with music broadcasting, and in 1922, radio manufacturers formed the BBC, which is known as the British Broadcast Corporation. In November 1939, John Logie Baird started the first ever television broadcasting system, but had to be shut down in 1939 due to the Second World War, but was reopened again in 1948. In 1954, the BBC broadcast its first television news bulletin, hosted by Richard Baker, and from then on, radio and television started evolving. So where is the industry today? In this digital modern era, social media has become a significant importance for news organisations and journalists. TikTok's reach for news has increased from 2020 by 1% to 7% in 2022. Half of the users are aged 16 to 24. Unfortunately, BBC has seen a decrease in 2022 by 24%, as from 2021 it was at 35% reach of viewers. Print online newspaper has also seen a decrease from 2020 by 47%, and currently in 2022 was 38%. In an Ofcom survey, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube in 2022 are three sources for news consumption for younger viewers. Speaking with Nazia Mogra, who is a TV presenter for the BBC, I asked Nazia what social media platform is she now using that she wasn't using 5 years ago. She replied with this response: TikTok, great place to find great people who tell great stories in very unique and talented ways. Who'd have thought? However, this is supported in a written article written by Dr. Simji Andy. He said social media have played an important role in how many people access the news over the past decade. The networks people use and the way in which social networks showcase news have, however, changed considerably during that time. As existing platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube evolve both in terms of how they work and who uses them, and newer networks such as Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok have grown in importance. So how does the BBC make money? The source of funding comes from a TV licence fee, which is charged annually to British households, companies and organisations. However, like ITV and Channel 4 makes their money from TV advertising. The BBC is the UK's main public service broadcaster, responsible for serving all audiences through the provision of impartial, high quality and distinctive output and services which inform, educate, entertain. Audience data and insights are critical to the success of the BBC's public service broadcasting, affecting decisions it takes about how to spend the majority of the £3.8 billion of licence fee income. As an example, according to BARB, Broadcast Audience Research Board has found Strictly Come Dancing's final in December was viewed at a 10.5 million. But there are some negatives in the industry. Tim Davis, Director General of the BBC, says the Britons should prepare for the closure of many standalone channels and radio stations by 2030. However, in another article, peers say that licence is outdated. House of Lords Communications and Digital Committee said that BBC needed a bold new vision, as the BBC is set in their old habits, distributing content to older audiences, when actually, in reality, we are in a fast-changing digital world where everything is distributed to every social media platform. But it is not all doom and gloom, as we might think. Again, talking to Nazia, I asked what were her thoughts about the BBC potentially becoming an online-only platform in 10 years' time. Her response was newsrooms are the hub, nerve centre. They will still be around. She also responded with the BBC is already changing as we speak, and as are the other newsrooms. The focus is turning into digital multimedia newsroom, serving all our audiences, and I believe this will continue and take us strength to strength, growing our audience. I agree with her opinion. In broadcast journalism, or any other journalism, there is always new ways to find and distribute content to the audience. Digital media brings many challenges for journalism and for our societies, but also very real opportunities for both news media and the public. The challenge for journalists and news media is to continue to adapt to the digital media that people all around the world are eagerly embracing at the expense of print and broadcast, and build a profession and a business fit for the future. So where do I fit into this? How do I put myself on the road to success? It's essential I put my presence online. I have learned that as a journalist, it is important to have social media. Social media, from the last 5 years, has changed the complexion of how we distribute news content to different types of audiences. A broadcast journalist earns up to £23,000 to £42,000 a year. The roles can vary from presenting on a TV set to on location, or operating equipment yourself, or directing a camera and sound crew. To go on the journey of improving my professional development, I need to focus on bringing new skills to the table, such as working under pressure and staying calm under stressful situations, and mostly importantly, building up my confidence. Listening to a podcast with Dhruti Shah talks about building confidence in yourself and believing in yourself, and not being ashamed of asking for help from other journalists. In the podcast, the quote said, "We need cheerleaders to fight our corner and talk us up in the rooms we are not in. We need them at our low points when we are minimizing our contributions. When we are stuck in a rut, as well as our high points when we are doing well, we need to be shouted about from the rooftops. We are responsible for our journey in the field we want to work in and the companies we want to work for. There is no shame in asking for help. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a better insight of my interest in broadcast journalism.